We're ready for another preschool classroom tour. Check out what my classroom looks like for the second half of October. Our classroom tree has now changed to fall. Students painted paper at the easel to create those. At the light table, students can create letters using these translucent lines and curves. When they come in the door, we're doing the letter G.
G, G, grapes.
G, G, grapes. At the Play-Doh Center, they can create monsters using toothpicks and googly eyes. We're also going to show them how to use a ball of Play-Doh and one of these dowel rods, and they're going to create a pattern. Green, purple. Over at the Writing Center, we have our Halloween word cards. We always have a set on the board and on the table. They can also create the 5 little pumpkins on the gate for our 5 little pumpkins poem that we've been learning. And over here, they're going to make their own pattern by gluing on shapes. They're going to copy this one, heart, star, heart, star, heart, star, heart. At the easel, they're going to use Q-tips to paint leaves on these trees. At the art table, we're working on Frankenstein-directed drawings for our Donuts with Grown-Ups event. We'll be moving on to our jack-o'-lantern. So students will paint an entire page orange, which we have some of those done. They'll choose their shapes, because we're working on shapes this month, and they will also draw their circle and cut it out. So there's lots of skills going on into this art project. Over here at the messy table, students are going on a letter scavenger hunt. So they're going to find a rock and then match it over here to our board. We're learning all about pumpkins at the Science Center. So they're going to hammer in golf tees into the pumpkin here. We have our pumpkin books, and we have corn with 5 little pumpkins in here. They have to find the 5 pumpkins. And then on this tray, we're carving a pumpkin all together as a class on Monday. And then I'll bring it over here, and so they can open it up and just explore it more. Over here at the Library Center, we have lots of pumpkin and Halloween books. Our Listening Center book is Leaf Trouble. Here's our letter table with the letter G and all of the activities that they can do here. This has been one of the favorite centers recently. I would say that this one is a letter search with a bin of Pluffle has been the favorite. These are the pumpkins that we're going to be carving for our group lesson. Here's my 5 little pumpkins poem that we're learning together. We're going to recite this to our grown-ups when they come for Donuts with Grown-ups. Here's our question of the day. Would you rather ride a tractor or pick apples? So that's how they sign in for the day, and I take attendance. Here's our letter wall. We're learning all about the letter G. We're going to be reading Go Away, Big Green Monster, and then I'll transfer this over to our Library Center so they can retell that book. We're going to be reading Mouse's Pumpkin Home. So this is a visual craft story, so I will be telling the story as I fold this paper in half. It's going to be opened up and turned into a pumpkin, so they absolutely love that. You can find that on my website. And here's some of the books that I'll be reading. Oh, goodness. Let's see. So I put my favorite books in this bin, and the ones that I don't typically read as a read aloud go over in my Library Center. So we're learning, this is our new WOW words are bear and nocturnal, and those are in, I think, some of these books here. Night animals, I think that's got nocturnal in it. They love their 5 Little Monkeys song, so that's a good one if you're a monster and you know it. This has the word bear in it, B-A-R-E. We're learning all about that. Bear means empty. They love that one. Oh, we read that one. That one needs to go. We read that for the letter D, if you give a dog a donut. Pumpkins. This is the one I read when we carve our pumpkin. So this is has some really good information about pumpkins. Leonardo, the Terrible Monster. That's one of my favorites. So those are the books I'll be reading for the next few weeks. We have a tub for Dress Up for Mrs. Wishy Washy, and they are absolutely loving this. I had the grandma of one of my students come in, and she shared this with them, and she left it for them to reenact. Here at the Synergize Center, they're going to be working together to create these shapes. Shapes is one of our standards in the month of October. Let me show you my October standards. With everything you've seen so far, you can see that not just in my large group lessons, but throughout my centers, I'm embedding all of the standards that we're working on. We can name shapes, we can sort, we can hold our pencils and crayons, we can measure and compare, we can understand patterns. So those are all throughout our room. And safety cards, we can follow safety rules. So we talked a lot about that before going on our field trip, but I also have these safety cards that we read one each day, talking about safety rules. We're learning about patterns, so our high five over here is patterns. This changes with the different skills that we're working on.
I can make a pattern. Cat, cat, dog. Cat, cat, dog.
I can make a pattern. Cat, cat, dog. Cat, cat, dog. We're keeping our pumpkin patch for one more week because students are loving it. We know that C says k and O says ah or O, like open. So they change this to open. They go on a tractor ride, pick pumpkins, rake up leaves, or pick apples. At our magnet center, I have regular letters and then I have magnet lines and curves. So I am going to have them choose a letter and try to create that letter with lines and curves. Over here in the block center, it's kind of random. We have some wheels and tubes. We have our car ramps that you can change out the ramps here. We have our magnetile roads that are new. We always have our wooden blocks out, and we always have our ramps and cars. What I'd like them to do with the foam Legos is it's a measuring activity. So I have tape around our block center here. So their job is going to be to see if they can build a tower against there or away from there to get to the top of the tape.